Welcome back to another podcast. I was supposed to be a guest on a podcast, but they no-showed. I don't understand why people do that. Sis hit me up, was like, "Can you confirm the time?" Even though she sent me like a million reminders, I was like, 12:30 EST. It's 12:42. She's still nowhere to be found. So it is what it is. I said, I'm not going to waste this makeup. I'm not going to waste my time just sitting around doing nothing until my next recording. I am going to hop on live and record a solo episode. So that's what we're doing. We're making lemonade out of lemons. I really just wanted to come on here and talk about some changes that are going to happen with my podcast and what those changes are going to be. How did it all start? I had my coaching call with my life coach, Karina F. Daves. Shout out to her. I really was feeling stuck when it comes to my business, when it comes to the podcast. And I was telling her, I feel like there's really not a lot of movement going on in regards to my growth, in regards to my reach, in regards to what I'm doing. I was just telling her that it really was affecting me in a way that I wanted to give up. I wanted to say, fuck this. I don't want to do this anymore because I've been doing this for a year and a half. And even though I know podcasting is a long game, right? Like you got to be in it for the long haul. You got to be consistent. I know that, being in the podcasting world, it's a long game. You got to be here. You got to show up. You got to be consistent, all of that, which I've been doing. But I've been feeling a little just stagnant in what I've been doing. And I was also feeling very much burnt out. Being a one-woman show, doing all the things, finding guests, prepping, editing, all of this stuff, I'm doing everything on my own. I just feel like shit is not moving the way that I feel like it's supposed to be. Like I feel like I'm doing all the right things. I'm asking all the right questions. I'm doing all this stuff, but it's like, why is nothing like moving? Why do I feel like I'm not walking in quicksand, but I kind of feel like I'm walking in mud and I'm getting nowhere. So that's what our coaching call was about this past Friday. Karina, she's like, I'm going to say something that's going to blow your mind. She's like, I think you need to go back to doing solo episodes. And I was like, what? What do you mean? And she was like, Lianne, you're a great storyteller. You tell the best stories. And when you're interviewing other people, you're great at doing that. I'm not taking that away from you, but the story and the vibe needs to be back on you. And I'm just like, oh my God, everything that I've been doing up until this point is like wrong. No, that's not what she meant. But, she really wanted me to focus on me. And that shit is scary, right? Because I kind of feel like when I'm recording with a guest, like it's all about them. I can kind of sit in the back and, do my own thing. I hop in every once in a while to say my commentary, but it's really about them. But being that I'm, a personal development coach and I do want to start focusing a lot on that and getting clients and being confident in my coaching, I need to start going back to basics. And the crazy thing is that when I started this podcast, I started off with just solo episodes. I think I did about 5 or 6 solo. If you go way back in the archives, you can hear the beginning. And it was just me telling my story, talking about relationships, talking about life shit. And then I started integrating guests and it started to shift the podcast. It started to shift in regards to meeting people, hearing their stories. And I love that. Don't get me wrong. I love that so much. I love connecting with new people. I love highlighting them. I love getting the feedback from y'all. They're like, oh my God, this person, their story, it was so inspiring. I feel so seen, blah, blah, blah. I love that so much. But I feel like, and the advice that I got from my life coach was that it needs to be back to me. Like I need to focus on me and being able to do solo episodes talking about whatever it is that I want to talk about is going to help me build up my confidence as a coach. The crazy thing that my coach said to me is like, those solo episodes is literally practice for you being a coach. And I never thought of it that way. I was like, are you serious? Solo episodes of me is me practicing finding my target audience and my ideal client. And when she said that, I was like, damn, sis, you right. It just makes me think about when I started this whole podcasting thing and how I got started. A lot of you guys know that I work for my sister. She has a very successful podcast. I learned a lot of things through her in what I do for her podcast. As I was going on my healing journey and finding myself and healing from my trauma, I decided in December of 2021 that I wanted to start this podcast too. And it went live 1/1/2022. I feel like a lot of the things that I learned working for someone else who had a very successful podcast, I was also integrating into my business and how I wanted to do it. But what I came to realize in having that conversation with my life coach is that my podcast is the complete opposite of what my sister got going on. It makes sense for her to have all these guests and different perspectives and things like that. And that's beautiful. I'm not knocking that. I'm not taking that away from her. But when it comes to me, my genre, my story, it's a completely different machine. That's what she kept calling it. It's a different machine. It's okay for you to run it differently. You don't need to do it the same way that you do for this other podcast. And I was like, damn, you're right. She lit a fire under my ass, which is why I titled this My Ass is on Fire. Not the bad way, not like if you ate Taco Bell or something. But my ass is on fire in a way that it's like, I want to come back to me. I want to come back to Lianne. I want to be a coach. I want to find my first client. I had two potentials, but that fell through. And I'm glad that they did fall through because I knew I wasn't ready. I knew like I did not have the confidence within myself to actually coach someone else through their own shit. I feel like as the days are going and the more healing and the more work that I'm doing, like I'm starting to find the confidence in me that I will be able to help someone else with my coaching and the way that I do it. But yeah, that's a little bit of the change that's going to happen with my podcast. I'm not going to go completely solo and I'm going to say, fuck this, I'm never interviewing anyone ever again, because the community that I have built in networking and connecting with others, I don't want to let that go. But I think I kind of want to do like a hybrid approach with, solo episodes and then an interview with someone and then go back and forth to that. Because one thing that I noticed, and I actually said this to my life coach as well, I noticed that a lot of the people that I follow that I deem as successful, that are in the same kind of genre that I am, when I look at their content online, it's literally just of them. A lot of the people that I follow that have really big accounts that are in the same niche as me, that are doing what I want to do, a lot of their content is just of them. Every single day, it's a reel of them talking to the camera. Every single day, it's a post about something that they're doing. Thinking of like Therapy Jeff, if you guys follow him. He's a social media therapist. Literally every single one of his videos is of him sitting in wherever he is, looking at the camera and spilling out some tea. And so many of the things that he talks about, I'm like, oh my God, I feel seen. Like I get it. Also, my other life coach, Erica Kramer, a lot of her content is of her in front of the camera. Her episodes, she has so many episodes of just her talking. And then she does the, in between, there's a guest. Even my coach right now, Karina F. Daves, shout out to her. Her content and how she blew up is that it's literally just her in front of the camera talking some real ass shit. And I feel like with me and what I've been doing, while I love it so much, I don't know, I just kind of want to get back to me and who I am and talk about my truth and talk about relationships and talk about healing. And I want to do it from my eyes. I have guests, like literally my entire schedule for the rest of this year is booked with guests. Excuse me. Yes, I burped in the microphone. And no, I'm not going to take that out. But I think for season 3, I don't know. I'm still going back and forth. I think for season 3, we're going to start doing something different. Going to go back to basics. I'm going to go back to how I started, which was just me talking, right? I want to let go of the control. Being a Virgo, if you know, you know. We are the definition of a perfectionist, and we want everything to be perfect, and we want everything to be structured and organized and detail oriented and all these things. And I want to just let that go because I feel like it's been holding me back and being completely raw and authentic and vulnerable and transparent, and for y'all to really know who I am, because there's still a lot of shit about me that y'all don't know. There's a lot of things that I still haven't talked about that I want to, but there is this level of like fear of being seen, fear of being judged, fear of being rejected, fear of looking fucking stupid, fear of not knowing what the fuck I'm going to talk about. I know that if I really want to grow this platform in the way that I can envision it, because I can see it. And when I was having that conversation with my coach, I saw it. We both saw it. Literally, she was getting like full body chills because like she was like, yo, I can see it, Lianne. I can see you doing this. I can see you taking up the space that you want to take up, but you got to just move a little bit differently. So I am giving myself the permission to pivot. I'm giving myself the permission to do something different. I am giving myself the permission to do it scared because I don't know what this is going to look like. I feel like now it's time to start shifting, start changing, and start showing up in a way that is going to elevate me. Word of the year. 2023 is elevate. The word of the year for 2022 was accountability. And I feel like I have done some things that have allowed me to move into the next level, but it's been too much of not enough of movement for me. It's kind of been just like, what the fuck is good with Instagram? Why is Instagram so fucking ghetto? I don't understand. Why does it keep pausing my life? But anyway, I don't feel like it's been enough of a change for me. And I know I gotta like pump the brakes too, right? Like this shit is not gonna happen overnight, even though that's all we see, especially on Instagram, curated feeds that everyone's an overnight success, an overnight celebrity, doing all this shit. I get it. It's not like that when it comes to podcasting. This is a long game, like I said in the beginning. But I don't want to feel like burnt out anymore. I wasn't feeling any more joy. It was starting to feel like a chore, having to show up, having to go to Chat GPT and get the perfect fucking questions and look up this guest. And sometimes they don't even show up. Even with the guest appearance that I was supposed to be on, she didn't show up and it's her podcast. Make it make sense. But anyway, it just coming back to me and going back to basics. I'm in control and I can do whatever the fuck I want and I can be imperfect and that's going to be okay. You know what I mean? Like, I think that makes sense. That's the changes that are coming. I'm still debating whether, oh my God, Instagram is so ghetto. This fucking live literally paused like 6 times. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to slowly start integrating it now in season 2 or if I'm going to start fresh in season 3 next year. I'm definitely going to wait until after my solo vacation, which is coming up. I'm so excited. I'm going to Mexico for my 35th birthday, and that's actually going to be like a real vacation. I told my daughter I legit might delete my app off my phone and just not show up for that whole entire time because I really just want a break. I really just want some rest. I've been going so fucking hard with everything that I got going on in my life, and I really am looking forward for a break. And I've heard from a lot of people who have gone on solo vacations that it is life-changing in the best way possible. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. Like I said, as it is my first solo trip ever. So we'll see. But that is the change and the shift that I got going for this podcast. I love, love, love meeting people. Don't want to take that away. But I think it's time for me to get back to basics and to let go of that control of trying to be perfect. So yeah, that's it. That's my episode. Short and sweet. Letting y'all know what I got going on. And I hope you guys continue to support and join me on this ride, this crazy, crazy podcasting world. But I'm really excited to see more of me. With that being said, if you're loving this podcast already, I would appreciate you if you left a rating and review on Apple. That really helps my numbers move up to get to new audiences. And it also gives me the motivation to keep going. Like I love seeing the feedback from y'all, how this episode affected you or you shared this with someone. And I love that. So please, y'all, leave a rating and review, 5-star, because this is a great, great podcast. Follow me here on Instagram. Hi, everyone. Always on the stories. I'm going to start going live a lot more because that's another thing that I was doing a lot. And then I stopped because life and fear and all these things. But you can follow me at Watch Us Thrive Podcast. Also follow me on Threads. That's a new thing. I think it's so much better than Twitter, honestly. Twitter is just ghetto. So you can follow me also on Threads, Watch Us Thrive podcast, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Most of my season 2 episodes are on the YouTube channel. Tuesday, a brand new episode drops. Same handle, Watch Us Thrive podcast, and visit my website, wutpodcast.com. You can sign up for my free newsletter. I have a freebie there for you guys to check out. It's called The Thrive Guide, How to Unlock Your Inner Magic After Experiencing Trauma, in exchange for your email address that I'm not going to spam you, I promise. I only talk to you guys like once a week. You can drop your email and you can get that download for free. And then also I need to start pushing out my coaching services a lot more. I don't talk about it enough, which is why I want to start going back to the solo episodes so I can practice talking about that more. The first title for me is a personal development coach. Then I'm a podcast host. So that's what I want to lead with. And I do have my one-on-one coaching service available for you. If you're someone who has been in a toxic and or an abusive relationship, you got out, you don't really know what's the next step, you're looking for that support, for someone who's been there, who's done that, I know exactly how you feel and I want to help you on your journey. We have 3 months of one-on-one coaching. Every week we show up, we talk, we figure things out, and I will help you reconnect with your inner magic, because we all have that inside of us, but we tend to lose that when we are in these toxic and abusive relationships. You can go to my website, wutpodcast.com. There's a bar at the top called coaching. You can book a free discovery call there, talk to see if we're even a good match, and then we'll go from there. So hit me up. Like I said, stay tuned, guys. Stay tuned. A lot of good stuff is coming. I'm just excited to start shifting the trajectory of this podcast into how it started. We're going to go back to basics. So thank you for tuning in. And until next time, this is your girl Lianne of the Watch Us Thrive podcast, sending you love, light, and healing.